Hello and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Thursday, May the 19th edition of our video devotionals. We appreciate you being with us today, and we call this Trusting Thursday. And on a day like today, as you have trusted the Lord with your salvation, then of course we can trust Him with our everyday events. There's no doubt about it. And then on this date, May the 19th, this was my mother's birthday. It will be 8 years this July that she went on to be with the Lord, but this was her birthday, and I failed to mention yesterday is my father-in-law's birthday, Christy's dad, and so it kind of worked out kind of neat like that. Her dad the 18th, my mother the 19th, but at any rate, wanted to make note of that. And then, as you know, as I mentioned on, I guess it was Monday, how sick I was from Sunday into Monday. Uh, Last night at church, it hit Christy, and I want you to pray for her. She's got, I think, the same thing that I had. So if you'll pray for her, I know she would appreciate that. It makes you feel very, 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 very bad. You're very sick, and hopefully she can get through that worst stage by this evening. Seems like there's a 24-hour period where it's just terrible, and then you're weak from it, still feeling the effects, but at least not that continual sickness that's just you don't even want to move. And one of the things I did ask her today, which I knew I was kind of picking on her a little bit, I said, of course you need anything. I was trying to take care of her, and I said, do you want anything to eat? No. I said, do you ever want anything to eat? No. And I remember telling her, I said, I don't ever want to eat again. And of course I have since then, but I have scaled back on some of the stuff that I had been eating. But anyway, not that you need to know that, but these stomach viruses are a real thing, and I hope you don't get it. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. If you do, then hopefully you've got somebody to take good care of you. All right, so we're going to jump into things here today. We're in the book of Ezra, so it's not a very lengthy book, but we'll be in it today, and then we'll finish out tomorrow. And so we're going to be in Ezra chapter 7 today. Yesterday, when we finished, we had gotten to the point where basically the rebuilding of the temple had stopped, and the adversaries of those building it had done all sorts of things. They've written a letter to the king to say, these people are bad people. You need to stop this project. And then the work ceased. Now that was under King Cyrus, and then under King Darius, we find out that search was made in the records and found out indeed that King Cyrus had made the decree, build this house, all the expenses, we'll take care of that and make it happen. So Darius, I guess, kind of recertified the effort, and they started building. Of course, the adversaries didn't want to hear that, but it went on. And here's one of the things I noticed here as I was reading about this today. And of course, they're talking about the expenses, and here's what we want to give you. And starting in verse 21, it says, And I, even I, Artaxerxes the king, do make a decree to all the treasurers which are beyond the river, that whatsoever Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of the God of heaven shall require of you, it be done speedily. And then, of course, he gives some amounts there. Then notice what he says in verse 23 here. Whatsoever is commanded by the God of heaven, let it be diligently done for the house of the God of heaven. For why should there be wrath against the realm of the king and his sons? Now, you know what is being said there? The king says, look, whatever you need, whatever God commands you that you need, then you get it. And we don't want to be responsible for you not getting it, because we don't want the wrath of God upon the government, so to speak, upon the king and his sons. Isn't that a wise way to look at things, where, as we live in this country, just using America as the example, where there was a day where there was such great respect for the people of God, the man of God, the church of God, all those things, whether people agreed with or not. This particular king here, we're not saying he was a believer as we would use that term, but he was someone that knew that the God of Jerusalem, who's really the God of all the earth, but he realized that we don't want to stand in his way, and whatever he commands, it needs to be done. We don't want to have his wrath upon us. And that's certainly the kind of philosophy that we all should have, and certainly those that would be as leaders in a country. And then notice what it says here too. Also we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of this house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toil, tribute, or custom upon them. You know what's being said there? We're not going to tax you, is what's being said there. We respect you. We're not going to take from you, and we're going to let you have, full all your full resources to do what you do. And that's also been a standing order as we think about this country too. I heard someone describe it one time. One of the reasons why uh, they don't collect taxes from a church, or at least here was kind of the philosophy behind it, is because the monies that the church keeps, which would be the difference between the taxes paid, the church can do much more with the monies that they keep, and even whatever they have anyway, than the government could ever do. In other words, the benefit to society. We know that we get taxed in theory, of course, we're taxed so that the government can provide benefits like a standing army, like we pay taxes for the fire department, the police department, and that's fine. They have to be paid, and I think every citizen pays a little part of that, and that makes perfect sense. Are there taxes that we pay for things that we don't agree with? Certainly. But the point here is that the philosophy that the church, let them have all the resources to do what they do, because the government can't do what the church does anyway. And what the church does as far as making society the best place and what it should be, the church should be the place that does that. Now, are there churches that may not fulfill that? I agree. But I believe a church especially that is preaching the gospel and going out and preaching the gospel, people get saved and their life is changed and a new creation happens inside, and that gives them the ability to be the best citizen, to be what they're supposed to be. Then I like that's what's said here. Here's a heathen king basically saying, look, we're not going to put any toil, tribute, or custom upon you. That's not what we're going to do. You go full speed ahead and do all that you need to do. So I like that. It's a good philosophy. We've got people that believe that still in this country, from the perspective of government and how they look at the churches and how they look at the people of God, and that's a wonderful thing. We need to thank God for that. When it's not the case, then we should pray for the leadership. But you know what? Ultimately, God knows what to do. He's done it before, and we'll leave that to God. But let's do what we can do and do the right thing, and thank God that there are leaders out there, civil leaders, that basically say, you know what, let God be God, and we don't want to stand in his way. And hopefully the churches won't have any encumbrances upon them, placed upon them, that shouldn't be there. And I like that. So hope you have a great day. Hope you stay healthy. And hopefully, if you're sick right now, I hope you get through that pretty quickly. And you stay healthy, you stay safe as you can be. And we'll see you tomorrow on Fateful Friday. Have a wonderful day.